Okay, Grand Rising, everyone. This is Ron. It is Sunday, June 28th, 2026, 11:03 a.m. We'll get started. We have a lot to cover today. Someone asked a question yesterday. Myra asked a question yesterday about the date of July 4th, and we'll hopefully look at that. But we got a lot of stuff. Pastor has a lesson he wants to go into as well. But on yesterday, we talked about some the importance of meditation, and I think I mentioned not feeling something immediately in my meditation and thinking something was wrong. And Pastor addressed that, and we talked about our religious background and our education and religion and the manipulation of the Bible and what all that entailed, and as far as also part of the rhythm that we feel from singing, from preaching, from all these things that give us these feelings and emotions and manipulate us a bit. So we talked about all of that, and of course I'm putting it in my own words. So if you have any thoughts or questions about it, Pastor can explain even further. Uh, we talked about refraining from negative thoughts and speeches, even if they come from someone else, and looking at the positive sides of things. I thought that one was extremely important. Uh, we talked about the 4th of July and what that means to this 250th celebration that everybody seems to be gathering up to take part in, and what that means for us, the Cabelonians rather, who were brought here, and so how the 4th of July got started, and you making a decision whether or not you want to celebrate that or not. The Holy of Holies, we talked about. Evelyn had brought up a question a couple of days ago. We talked about that, how to be whole again. You find yourself in a situation where you may have part been part of something that is not as wholesome as you thought it would be, and you want to free yourself of it, and how that is done through repentance. Uh, so we got into some things like that on yesterday. Uh, so I'm going to give it to Pastor now and let him approach this how he feels it, because as I said, we have a lot of things we thought that have come up today that we so we'll go from there. Pastor, you want to take it from here?
um, the question that Mara had raised that you had spoken with George about.
Yes.
Excuse me. Let's get an understanding of what those numbers represent first,
Okay.
and then we can go from there because I think that both of them are related to each other. Okay,
Okay.
George.
Yeah, divine browsing, everyone. Ron, I had a chance to look at that particular date, July 4th, 1776. And as Pastor mentioned, it is about, accumulating the numbers. But what I like to do is just maybe share it from a standpoint that if you take the month and you take the day number and
Hmm.
you take the year number, which would be 7/4/1776. What you do is you would get a sum total number of 32. And again, looking at it spiritually, the whole purpose is to basically reduce this total sum number to the root number. And what you do is 32 is the sum number and the root number is 5. So the spiritual meaning of that date, represents or speaks about manifestation. Now, when we say manifestation, as I say before, the way I looked at that date, the 4th of July, and how I look at it today, with regards to my Cabelonian mindset and essence, it talks about being in alignment with the five elements of earth, air, fire, water, and the ether. And what it talks about is being or understanding the synergy of the forces of nature in which we are able to receive from the universe, from the cosmic mother. And so manifestation, is a point of emphasis that is discussed. And it talked about the importance of creative manifestation. And so again, and watching and listening to, the podcast yesterday, Pastor had referred, to our being able to appreciate nature and knowing how to um, manifest that in a way that would give us an opportunity to totally appreciate who we are. And so it also talks about being in alignment to freedom. Freedom is another important uh, manifestation in terms of July 4th, 1776, and how it was written, how it was taught in terms of the truth of what it really s- spiritually means. I think we're getting that understanding even more, from Pastor, and those who have a desire to seek and know truth. One other point of emphasis, and I'll leave with this, Ryan, in reference to the spiritual number of number 5. Pastor talked about it yesterday in terms of how do we harness the energy, you know what I mean, of who we are. And I say the melanin, but he talked about, you know what I mean, again, focusing on a positive mindset. He talked about, the importance of, again, negativity is something that we're going to see, we're going to experience, but not staying in that negativity. So when we talk about creative manifestation, being able us to be able to appreciate envisioning, our desires. What is it that we do during our time of meditation? How do we receive from nature? And I think yesterday it was mentioned every day the universe gives us. You know what I mean? And we receive, and every day we receive, and hopefully we are giving. But I think again, I just wanted to share with regards to July 4th, 1776. Basically, the spiritual meaning of that is creative manifestation, being able to connect with the five elements and appreciating what freedom truly means. And so that's what I wanted to share this morning, Ryan, and hopefully that was helpful.
I, George, I'm that was very refreshing. Looking at July 4th and what we've talked about, we know in the history of the nation and the attachment of the slave taxes. Uh, that was not what I was expecting at all. And everything you said was very positive and refreshing. Thank you. Yeah, that was awesome. Uh, Anybody else? Anybody? Yeah, I appreciate that.
And Ryan, one last point, if I may, because I think Valerie said something yesterday as I was listening and watching the tape, where she had talked about the speech that Frederick Douglass wrote. And I
Mhm.
think what was really interesting to me about that is hearing James Earl Jones do the narrative on that speech and listening to his spirit of how he pronounced, how he delivered that, let us realize the importance of vibration, frequency, and being able to learn in a way that is not, again, academia, but to the point where he was really able to, I think, give it that dynamic that sometimes is missed. So I'm
Yeah.
done, Brian. I want to share those thoughts. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, what freedom really means. That's what stuck out to me because you don't really know what freedom really means until your freedom is gone. It seems like something that doesn't make sense. But it's like you don't miss your water till the well runs dry. And now here we are. We are we have experienced and still are experiencing bondage. And the only time that I can remember that I have a taste of freedom is when I'm in the midst of people who look like me that I can be comfortable around. I can be me. Because all other times, whether we realize it or not, we are we are but functioning in a schizophrenic manner because we have learned in order to survive, we must be able to adapt like the chameleon and address situations and circumstances in a manner that we would not necessarily normally do that. So I think it's very rewarding for us to have that understanding that you gave, George, and
Yeah.
I'm very much appreciative of that. Um, and I asked, as Ron has earlier, are there any other statements, comments, or questions about what George just presented?
I have a question. Given what we talked about yesterday for the 4th of July, and it's non-Cableonian meeting, does that mean we need to reclaim that energy back? Or is that what we're in the process of doing?
Well, that reclamation of energy took place when we dealt with it some time ago.
Okay.
So
Okay.
um, I think we've already done that.
All right.
So how we're discussing it now keeps it fresh, not only in us but also in the environment.
Okay.
I do think that the creator has a sense of humor.
Mm.
If you look at the weather forecast for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of July, you will see that is 100 degrees with the
Heat index.
heat index being 108 to 118. And if you know anything about DC, that is not where you want to be outside in DC in 100-degree weather because of the humidity. I don't think the celebration is going to be as comfortable as they think it's going to be. I do believe that the same forecast is projected for Philadelphia as well. Now, as far as the humidity there in Philly, I'm not too familiar with it, but I'm very familiar with the humidity. Okay, thanks, George. It is with the humidity in DC, so it's going to be interesting to watch. George, you had something to say?
No, I was just letting you know that it will
Oh,
be, yeah, that
okay,
kind of temperature. Yep.
okay. Thank you.
So I have a second question. Can George look at the numbers for Juneteenth Day?
Sure, sure he can. He's doing it now as you speak.
Would you do that, George? Thank you.
Yes.
He'll happen in a few moments. Um, while he's doing that, and George, just let me know at any point when after you have done completed the gematria, okay? Um,
Okay.
in conjunction with what George talked about the freedoms, I wanted to speak to something that was brought to my attention this morning, and it was brought to my attention via social media. I was looking at this video, and in that video, there was a discussion because of what a Haitian female said in regards to the TPS that's being taken away from them, um, the temporary protection status. protected status that they have in this country. And she said, we built this country. And in response to that, this social media influencer, Tabitha, said that, no, you didn't. And she's absolutely right. The Haitians did not build this country. But it went even further than that. There were several different videos where Haitians are denigrating us, as well as people from the continent of Africa denigrating us. And in addition to that, we're already experiencing the denigration from Asians. And now the Asians seemingly are regretting what their actions in relationship to us. So why am I bringing this up? The reason I'm bringing this up is because if feelings don't be made public, if what you truly believe is not made public, you don't know how to deal with it. And just like we are very much aware that all skin folk are not kinfolk, they look like us, but they're not necessarily us. That holds true for Cabelonians in the diaspora. And that speaks volumes to me because as long as those kinds of attitudes are kept within the borders of those groups of people, we are not able to deal with it. We're not able to repurpose the energy of it. And we do understand that none of the experiences that these people, whether they be Haitians, Jamaicans, or Asian, it doesn't matter. None of them would have the experiences they enjoy now if it had not been for the suffering that we had to endure, not only during slavery in this country, but also in the midst of the civil rights movement. We could easily disrespect them as they have us, but two wrongs does not make a right, and we have to deal with the deep ignorance of those who are disrespectful towards us, and the things that they say about us. They are parroting the talking points of white supremacists when they call us lazy, when they say disgusting things about us using profanity in expressing it, when they say that we've been here, we've not made any efforts to to do anything, and we always blame the white man. So now I wonder who they are blaming about their TPS status being revoked. Are they blaming us, or are they blaming the white man for their situation, circumstances that they are in right now? I too feel for them, as the influencer was talking about. I do feel for them because they are totally ignorant as to who, for lack of a better description, the enemy is. And now that all of it is out in the open, I do believe it's in the open for a reason. And it's in the open because it is imperative that we recognize who we are, whether we are in Jamaica or whether we are in Haiti. We must recognize who we are as a people. And that recognition has escaped them. When you tell me that you're Haitian, that you're not black, that's a problem. It's a problem on the surface. However, it is not a problem when we look at the understanding of what black means. As we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, we are the only people who are called Black American or black in relationship to the country. The Trinidadians are called, Trinidadians, etc. But they're the same as we are in terms of being black. We talked about the divinity of the word black, speaking to Kemet, which means black, or the land of the blacks, Ethiopia, the burnt ones, or the burnt face. All of these references to being black Kush is black, and we're the only ones who are called black, and we're the only ones who are being denigrated by all black people around this world. And I'm not talking about by all black people in terms of every single one of them. I'm talking about the voices of those who are speaking out about their cultural beliefs about us, and at the same time saying that we don't have a culture while they are enjoying the culture that we created. So what I see in this is self-hatred. That's what I see in this, and rather than admit the self-hatred, they are projecting to us, and simply because they are projecting to us, and yes, it pisses me off. However, there's a bigger picture than this. It is it is time for us to focus on the unification of the divine ones in this earth, and and how do we do that? We do that by by helping them see who they are. And the the greatest help that we are beginning to experience, uh, that the greatest help that we are receiving so that they can see who they are is coming from Donald Trump. You think that you have arrived, Haitians, until TPS goes into play. And Haitians, if you think that the only ones who are going to be extricated from this country are the Haitians who are under the TPS program, you got another thought coming. And I'm saying this to Haitians in the macro because they don't care whether you have been here for 50 years, you still Haitian and you going. So I do feel for them. I don't want to add to their burden. However, at the same time, I think it's necessary to allow this purge to take place with the greatest pain possible so that they can totally see and be made aware of where the discrimination, where the racism is coming from. How can you possibly blame us for our plight when we fought like hell to move forward, and every time we do it, all our stuff gets burned down? Especially Haitians who are starving, especially Haitians who have never had a stable government since the enslavement of Haiti. Never had a government that was stable, and had always had to bear the brunt of racism coming through the black faces who sat in power in that country. Understanding the days of Papa Doc, they don't even know their own history, and yet they're talking about we don't know where we came from. Well, there's a reason for that. They don't know where they came from either. I'm a Haitian, but you didn't originate in Haiti. You on a boat. You just got off the boat before we did, and so the ignorance there is appalling. And so I bring all of this up because spirituality must be invoked here. The divinity of who we are must be recognized at this juncture in our lives, and and we cannot afford to respond to them the way that they attack us. Our response must be based upon who we are. We are the divine ones, and I'll get deeper into that in just a moment after George presents the grammatical for Juneteenth.
Yes, Ramel, Juneteenth, the root number is 9. And when I say the root number, again, taking that date in terms of 6/19/1865. Okay. I also did it for 26, but I think again, we're looking at Juneteenth. 9 represents the number of cosmic consciousness. And we've talked about this, in terms of the Akashic consciousness. It is a spiritual doorway to awakening of the higher self, to the alignment of all that is, was, and ever will be. The spiritual blessing of 9 opens one to a higher awareness of self and purpose. Divine purpose reveals to itself to you as you pass through this doorway. But it says you have wanted to know your individual unique purpose and are ready in your mind, body, and spirit to embrace and to follow your higher calling, to be and to teach the ways and the path of enlightenment. And again, that's the spiritual meaning, but I think it all, relates to our conversation. And Ramel, again, I appreciate, you bringing that up because again, just in your seeking, not just who you are, but being able to be that light to others, I really feel, your synergy and your spirit desiring to be who the creator created you to be. So again, but that's the root number for number 9, if that resonates or if anybody have any questions.
It does resonate, and thank you very, very much.
All of that also tells me that we're right on track.
Yeah. So what you do 2026?
Okay, that root number is 8. Okay, and it talks about, the number of abundance and prosperity, but it talks about the universe supplies infinite abundance of energy and resources to supply the needs and dreams and desires that anyone can conceive. 8 is the number that supplies the energy flow, you know what I mean, of money, giving us the opportunity to create influence and to enjoy the fruits of right actions. And I think yesterday, Pastor, that's a word that you mentioned. We have to be, I think you said we have to, is our actions. We have to be doers. And so, that's what 8 represents as an overview.
Thank you. You can't do until you know who you are, because you don't know what to do. George was stuck with me about the description of it in 1865 is higher self-awareness, the number 9, meaning that we are the divine ones, and we must become aware of being the divine ones. You say, well, you're elevating us above everyone else. No, I'm not. I'm expressing the reality of our servitude. We are servants to all of those who are ignorant as to who they are. We are servants to those who have only meted out brutality towards us. We are servants to those who have labeled us as being lazy, as being reprehensible, as not knowing where we came from, who we are, etc. And my response to us not knowing what group we came from on the continent is quite simple. We are Melchizedek. We have no beginning and no end in regard to our origin. No, I don't know what specific group of people that's called the tribe that I came from, and neither do you. So I see when I look at the scriptures, when it talks about Abraham rendered the tithe to Melchizedek, and Melchizedek meaning the one with no beginning, no end, and Abraham, father of many people, the progenitor of the people in the earth, the seed life, the life of the seed life in the earth. I'm saying that without us in realizing who we are, there would be no hope for the rest of the world, especially no hope for the people who look like us. Because when we look at it, excuse me 1 second, please. When we look at it from the perspective of what's taking place in the environment, there is absolutely no one on the face of this earth who cares anything about us in terms of the loud voices in different groups of people. The Asians don't but we never dropped a bomb on Asia. We have never dropped. We didn't drop the atomic bomb on Japan. We did not or flood China with heroin. We did not put people in charge in Haiti who brutalized, murdered, and disappeared more people than we can count. We did none of that. We were not the ones who dropped them off the boat. We were not the ones who worked Jamaicans to death in the sugarcane fields. That's not us. We did none of that. Yet we are denigrated, and that denigration speaks volumes to me because that the last shall be first and the first shall be last. I see that very clearly in regards to this. And I also see something else very clearly in regards to this. Some time ago, when we started talking about the European mindset, and what we are dealing with has nothing to do with the skin color, but it has everything to do with the mindset. Of course, the skin color is melanated, and the melanin is extremely important. I'm not denying that at all. However, I'm saying that it's the greater thing there. And the greater thing that we need to look at is the mindset. Because the Haitians, the people who have spoken from the continent of Africa, the Asians, all of them have the mindset of an enslaver. And they are the ones who the enslavers has done everything they could to destroy them. We didn't drop napalm on Vietnam. Neither did we do the massacre in My Lai. We didn't do any of that. Yet we are the brunt of everybody's joke, and we are considered the lowest on the totem pole. And if we look at that logically, then maybe we are the lowest on the totem pole because we have to bear everyone else on our shoulders. Maybe we are the lowest on the totem pole because they stand on our shoulders in order for them to experience what they call success, not realizing that the only reason that they are enjoying what they are is because white people allow them to do it. And with the also understanding that we, being in this country, are the only people who look like us in this country who they go catch hell trying to deport because of the citizenship that we enjoy at this moment. And I say at this moment because I understand the 14th Amendment being before Congress, being before the Supreme Court. I understand all of that. And I am saying that there is absolutely nothing that will deter us from the journey that we are on. There's absolutely nothing that will cause us to reject those who look like us as well as those who don't look like us. We, the, the battle that we are engaged in is not a carnal battle. It's not material. It's not a battle with bombs and guns. This is a spiritual battle. This is spiritual warfare. And when we engage in spiritual warfare, we are engaged in the efforts to change how people view each other. We are bringing to an understanding the conceptual truth that's in the scriptures. Even though they have been manipulated, the truth is still there. We are the ones who have been charged to do this. And there may be some of you asking the question, why us? You will have to ask a higher power than me, why us? All I know is that we have been chosen to do this. And in doing it, we must stay focused that we are engaged with principalities of darkness, principalities of chaos. That's what we are engaged with. Ron, you have questions? Comment.
No, no, I'm just listening.
We are engaged in this spiritual warfare, and we cannot allow anything or anyone to cause us to look away from it or to be distracted by their accusations and their ignorance. we know more about our history in terms of being in this country than any of those in the diaspora who are railing against us. They know nothing about us, but we know about them. And I would venture to say that we know more about Haitian history than the Haitians who run in their mouths know about their history. I would venture to say that we know more about the continent of Africa in terms of the history than they know about their own, but they know absolutely positively nothing about us. Because if they knew anything about us, they would understand that the only reason you can ride an elevator is because of us. The only reason that you can drive a car is because of us. The only reason you have running water is because of us. Everything, every comfort that you embrace with, from frozen food to sanitation, we did that. None of them did it. None of them did it. Nobody in Haiti did it. Nobody in the diaspora did it. We are the ones who built this country. We are the ones who created. We are the ones who created what we call creature comforts now. No one on earth did that except those of us who look like us in this country. We did it, and the whole world is benefiting from it. And the whole world is also going to benefit from our forgiveness towards them and our love for them. And that our love for them, not a pseudo love that gives lip service to it. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a depth of love and kindness from a space or place that they have never experienced. Because had they ever experienced it, their voices would not be voices of degradation towards us. Matter of fact, if they were to understand where everything came from that they are enjoying, then they would recognize that we are indeed the gods in this earth. Any questions or comments about this? And please don't hold your tongue. Don't wait and have a comment. I mean, keep your comments to yourself, rather. If you have a comment or a question, please raise it right now.
Ms. Vermel, I have a question. Could you explain the birthright that they're trying to erase?
It's simply that the Constitution was amended to say that if we were born in this country, then we are citizens. That's the basic foundation of it.
Okay, so they want to strip that away, right?
Absolutely.
So how does that not apply to the many non-Cabelonians? Why doesn't it apply to them too?
Because they were not slaves. That amendment was put in place for those of us who were enslaved, our ancestors. It was not put in place for white people.
That's
White people have always been citizens of this country. There's never
okay.
been a problem with that.
That's the nuance I was missing. Thank you.
Yeah, you're quite welcome. Any other questions or comments?
But the irony of it is, though, it applies to everybody but us.
That's the irony of it.
Yes.
The other part of it is that what's coming to light now is we were here before they were,
Yeah.
before Europeans were. We were here. However, they did import us, and I say import, and I use that word loosely because that's exactly what they saw us as, property being imported from a different part of the world. And that's the whole meaning of chattel slavery. We were property. We were not humans. We were property. And all of those who are railing against us, in terms of those who look like us, who came from the same roots as we did, they were in chattel slavery. They experienced chattel slavery also in terms of their ancestors, and to a great degree, they are still experiencing the imperialist racism that America and the rest of Europe has shouldered them with, and and we are the only people in this world who created a civil rights movement that was international. Marcus Garvey did not create a movement in Jamaica the way he did in America. The largest movement of people who look like us in the world was organized and led by Marcus Garvey in this country. Isn't it something to think about that he saw the value in coming to America and bringing together, first of all, the people of Cabelonian descent in this country. He saw the value in doing that here first before it could spread to the diaspora. So why did he do that? Because he saw the power that was vested in us in this country, even though we did not recognize how powerful we were. And to this day, is even less that we recognize the power that we are. So I'm saying that the greater movements on this earth had their genesis in this country, and and the genesis in this country was fed by those of us who are of Cabelonian descent. That's that we are the ones who have done this, and I say all of this. Am I boasting? I'm just telling the truth. The truth is what is. The truth is, if you want to know what truth is, that's what it is. The truth is what exists. What the truth is, what is, and what is what I am saying. And everything that I have said and shall say is a historical truth and can be proven easily. So so you are going to hear quite a bit of dissent coming from people who look like us. Um, I don't want you to be dismayed by it and don't be upset by it. Recognize the ignorance there because there are those in this country who were reared in this country who have the same mindset of those who are in the diaspora. And so we must maintain the integrity of this journey. We must maintain the dignity of divinity in order for us to be able to be effective in changing the mindset of humanity. Because what the Creator has done, the Creator has shown us that it is imperative that we change the mindset of humanity, not the mindset of Europe, not the mindset of China, but the mindset of all humans in this earth. God has been rejected. Divinity has been rejected. Not only has it been rejected by those who don't look like us, but it's being rejected by those who do look like us. The prophet is not accepted in his own home. The rejection of the prophet, as Jesus talked about, come from those grew up with the prophet. In other words, the prophetic word or the prophetic presence is being rejected by those who benefit from it the most, by those who should be the undergirders of it, but they have become the mouthpiece for white supremacy. They have become the mouthpiece for those who are seeking to reduce the population through murder by way of vaccines, by way of starvation, by way of weapons of mass destruction. And we are the vanguard. We are the wall that stands between them and what they are making every effort to do in terms of reducing the presence of people who look like us in the earth. Questions or comments?
I have a question.
Uh huh.
What do you mean by diaspora? Am
Those,
I pronouncing that correctly?
yeah, you are the black people around the world. When I say diaspora, I'm talking about black folk. When I say the African or the black folk in diaspora, I'm talking about all over the world. So black
Thank you.
is all over the world. Does that help you, Evan?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. George?
Yes, I was just gonna, mention, when Vermel mentioned birthright. Birthright is so essential in terms of us truly knowing ourselves and to be able to understand our true nature and to expand our consciousness is our birthright. And so I think that this is, again, bringing divine spiritual enlightenment that again, words can't express the importance of you knowing that. And so our birthright is just, you can't explain it in terms of being able to truly understand it from its origin. So I appreciate hearing that word birthright.
I'm glad you both said that, George, because what does it mean? Right of birth, rights that you receive at birth. That being, if that's the case, then nobody has rights except us, because we're the first people on earth. If you want to deal with birthrights, we were the first people to be birthed on this earth, and all the people who came from us, the rights that they are destined to enjoy are the rights that come from us to them. And what happened? We as a people traveled the earth, teaching people how to live and to change their conditions of filth so that they could live in cleanliness and avoid diseases and death, premature death. We are the ones who traveled the world, sharing with the world our understandings of the universe. But not only that, we are the ones who introduced medicine to the rest of the world. We are the ones who showed them that their birthright from us included our making sure that they were civilized, making sure that they were taken care of. That's the birthright that they had from being birthed from our womb. And how is this being repaid? It's being repaid by virtue of having taken our birthrights from us and enslaving us. And now that we understand who we are not taking any rights from them. We are seeking to reinstitute the birthrights that we introduced them to from the beginning. And it is imperative that we understand that. We cannot travel this journey with anger based upon what someone said or did. This journey must be traveled with love and kindness. It must be. Our mantra at this juncture, could very well be, Cosmic Mother, forgive them, for they do not understand the veracity of what they are doing. They don't understand what they are saying. They are not aware of who they are. So we cannot have an expectation that they will speak anything other than what they have been taught by the colonizers. We cannot hold anything against anyone because of our divinity. Does that resonate with you guys?
That
Yes.
is spot on.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank all of you. Any questions or comments about that?
I have a question, Pastor. I don't think it's about that. You want me to just hold a question and let everybody speak on what you just talked about?
Well, let's just see what the question is, Charles. It may be related. We don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, in the Bible it say, those who are first shall be last, and those who are last shall be first. Give me the understanding of that, of what it means.
From what I understand, based upon what I said earlier, is that those who have been rejected shall be embraced, and those who have been embraced as being truth, those are the ones who shall be last. It doesn't mean that they're going to be rejected. It means that their consciousness, their principles are going to be rejected or being rejected as we speak. So when it talks about the cornerstone that was rejected, the stone that was rejected became the cornerstone of the building. Those principles are the same thing. The same thing. So the rejection of God, the rejection of divinity is taking place right now. But the embracing of that same divinity, we will experience that in the very near now, as opposed to future, in the very now. We shall experience that. And our experience, we can only experience it if we don't incorporate in our lives the same principles that we are seeking to change or to repurpose, so they will benefit humanity, as opposed to being an adversary to humanity. I hope that helps, Charles.
It really did, because I didn't understand that, because most people understand it that white people's on top, they're going to be on the bottom, and black people's going to be on the bottom, going to be on top. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
But you said it spiritual.
Absolutely, Charles. Absolutely. And see, that is the greatest fear of Europeans, because they think that we will do the same thing to them that they did to us, even though there is no history of us doing anything to them, anything near what they did to us. We don't have a history of killing white people. We don't have a history of enslaving white people. We don't have a history of lynching white people. That is not our history. That is not who we are. That's not how we live. That's not even in us for us to do that. However, there has always been projection, and they are projecting their attitudes towards us, and we cannot embrace those adversarial attitudes that they are projecting towards us, lest we be no different than they. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you, man. You cleared everything up. It's not clouded no more now. It's clear as a bell.
Okay. Anyone else? Questions or comments?
Pastor, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, was it the cosmic mother, the stone that was rejected, the corn? Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. The stone that was rejected became the cornerstone of the building. It's not the cosmic mother. I don't see it that way, Evelyn. I see us as being that stone that's been rejected. Think about this. Everything that I've said this morning, especially, speaks to us having been rejected by everybody on earth, every group of people on earth, inclusive of our own. That's the cornerstone. That's the stone that became the cornerstone for the building. Can you see that, Evelyn?
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why I asked that question, because I think about the feminine energy that has been rejected in all over the world. So that's why I asked that question. But okay, thank you for clarity.
Thank you. I think a lot of what you just asked in regards to the feminine energy having been rejected would probably be cleared up Ron bounced something off of me earlier, and we're probably going to talk about it tomorrow in regards to that feminine energy having been rejected. I will say this: I've always asked myself since I understood the divinity of the feminine womb of the God being feminine, the Creator being feminine. After I embraced that, my question was been to me: why is it that the Creator allowed me to be in a position, a place of leadership, guiding people on this journey? And when Ron made a statement this morning in regards to femininity, I saw it. Masculinity is the culprit in terms of the destruction of spirituality and the perpetuators of the perpetuators of principles that's antithetical to spirituality, and it must be fixed by us. Not to mention the fact that we must defend, protect femininity. So that speaks volumes to me, and we'll get further into that tomorrow. That help, Evelyn?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions or comments? We have no questions, no comments. Then
Ah,
go ahead, Barbara.
I did have a question that goes back to what Evelyn brought up about femininity, the cosmic mother. So, what is that basic cornerstone? I tried to get on before and I
Okay.
hung myself up. So, is that basic cornerstone the truth of the divinity of who we are? Or is that basic cornerstone the truth of the divinity of the foundation of the universe? Meaning, and I don't mean feminine, I mean the principles of the
Okay.
femininity. What is, okay.
I don't see a difference between the two. I believe that there's no difference between the universe and us. And the foundational principles of the universe are the principles of Maya. So, if we stop looking at ourselves, from a physical perspective and see the spiritual essence of our being, then we are the foundational principles of the universe itself. So that's why I see the cornerstone as being us that has been rejected. Because who has been rejected or what has been rejected in this earth more than anything or anyone else? Is it not us?
Yes.
Does that resonate, Barbara Jean?
I hear what you're saying, and yes, it
No,
does
no, no.
resonate.
Go ahead, please. Because
No, it does
I'm
resonate.
not
I
seeing the
haven't
picture.
formulated.
I want to see the
I
picture.
haven't formulated.
Okay,
Hmm?
I got you. Okay,
I really haven't formulated a response to that, and so, but what you're saying resonates. Yes.
okay. Thank you. If it comes, please raise it. Okay. Because the objective here is to make sure that we get a clear understanding. And I'm not always the person who necessarily give the total clarity and the understanding. That's why all of us have voices to speak and to raise questions. Okay, Audrey?
I have a question. Wasn't I'm wondering if the original rejection was the cosmic mother, the feminine energy, because the whole foundation of of many religions is built on the fact of masculine dominance. So wasn't the original rejection that of feminine energy or the cosmic mother?
You are a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier about helping bring clarity. You're absolutely right. That is the first rejection. And look at what's happened ever since that rejection took place. And if we look at history, that's what we will be shown. How the beginnings, rather, of the chaos that's in this environment. It came from the rejection of femininity. From the rib until now. I mean, man having a baby, bringing femininity into existence from a rib. So yes, I see that very clearly. Thank you. Questions or comments about that? Does that resonate with you guys? The rejection of femininity in the beginning?
Yes,
Indeed, it does.
Yes.
yes,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, it does.
yes.
Thank you.
And for those who are new to the broadcast, it's not talking about women. That's not the principle of femininity. And so I just wanted to make sure that if there's someone new, that's clear.
Thank you. It's actually, I think maybe if we look at it from religion, we talk about the Holy Spirit, Shekinah. So the spiritual essence is feminine in itself, but it doesn't speak to a woman, as Barbara said. And think about this. Even though Shekinah is written in the same scriptures that religion uses, they still will not refer to the spirit as being feminine. It's always referred to as being masculine. Even though Elohim, in this, it says, let us make man. Who said that? Us. Elohim is one yet many. Many gods who brought into existence humanity from the womb of femininity. Yet, we talk about one God when it is the word itself, Elohim, is one yet many. It's plural. Those are the things that we have embraced, we have accepted in the past that we cannot continue to hold on to because they're right in our face. We can see, even after having manipulated the scriptures, we are still able to see the feminine aspects of spirituality, of our existence in this earth. Thank you. Questions or comments? Well, if there are no questions or comments, let me end by saying this. In your meditations, seek balance, not just for us, but for humanity. Ask the ancestors to guide us in what we are to say or do spiritually, to open the eye of those who are unaware of who they are. Say to the ancestors or to the cosmic mother, seek forgiveness for them for the attitude of rejection of what's real. It is incumbent upon us to be the perpetuators of humanity. We stand in the gap. We are the bridge. Let's be what we were created to be. Again, that's the reason everyone has an identity that was given to them by Europeans that does not fit who they are. We are the only ones who are labeled that fits who we are. You say, well, they called you black. They call you Ethiopia. They call you Kush. They call us black. They call us melanated. That's who we are. No one, no group of people on this earth has an identity of being melanated, of being black, except those of us whose ancestors were enslaved in this country. Give thought to that. And when you understand that, when you embrace that, when you experience the essence of that, when those chills run through you, or when that experience of the presence of divinity run through you, when you feel that, just simply say, Ashe. Ashe.
Hey.
That's it. I promise you, when we delve into forgiveness towards those who are unaware of who they are, when we delve into a desire to understand the reason we could never get away from this label of being black, the reason that we were taught to despise being black is simply because of the power of being melanated and knowing it. And there has to be someone raised up to bring deliverance to humanity. And out of the bloody wounds of our ancestors, from the rapes, from the lynchings, out of all of this hatred, were reshaped, were we brought into existence, were we birthed in order to bring an end to it so that humanity can be what humanity was created to be. It is we who have been chosen to do this. It doesn't mean we're better than anyone. It means that we are servants to everyone. And no space in our hearts can ever house anything that is adversarial to any humans, because all of them came from us. No adversarial feelings for anyone who looks like us, but speak the tongue of the imperialists, the colonizers. It is us who must remain who we know we are. Without hesitation or reservation, we speak positively about everyone and everything, because guess what? They're either our children that came from the womb of the cosmic mother, or they are divine ones who have lost their way. And the journey that we travel is creating a pathway for those who are searching and don't even know what they're looking for. Let's leave the stones at every place we dig a well so that they will have a guidepost so that they will not have to go through what we've gone through. They can simply follow the spiritual map that our ancestors has drawn for us to follow. Thank you. I'm done.
I say to that, because you just answered the question that you brought up earlier about you don't know why we are facing, we are belittled by everybody. Only a higher power knows. Well, you're that higher power, and you just gave us the answer. So thank you for reminding us of the power that we are, and the answer, and the meaning, and the purpose that we are here for.
Thank you.
Ashe.
Yes.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Beautiful energy, guys. Thank you. And if there's nothing else, I don't want to make sure we leave anyone out. If there's nothing else, though, we'll see you tomorrow evening. Have a great day.
Thank you. Never forget who you are. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.